got some gloves, some unmolding or unboxing a mold, and whatever they use to pack it is questionable. Once I had somebody use like fiberglass, like I don't know, it wasn't like hardy board, but like fiberglass, like insulation board. And that was, I was like, did you use something like fiberglass? And they were like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, I already Googled it and I know that this has fiberglass in it, so. This just looks like foam, but. It's questionable. What is that? They really just use whatever they find around the house. And the mold's wrapped in it. I think fortunately it's not fiberglass, but it's something else. It smells so bad. It smells terrible. So grossed out. Pull it, push it out of the shit. It's gross. Okay, mental note not to order from that eBay seller ever again. Just gross. I took the gloves off, I think, prematurely. I'm going to put another pair of gloves on. Oh my goodness, a tailor. Taylor's here. I'm just opening up a mold that was questionably packed. I don't even know. It's just like the foam. It was like packed with foam. The foam looked sort of normal. I don't know. I just wish people would pack things with normal stuff. Like, shipping is so expensive. And I know they don't pay as much. Or they don't, like, pay as much for shipping. That's the thought that I was trying to get out. Like, there's an expected package handling fee. I'm still grossed out. And they kept messaging me being like, oh, hey, I'm not that far from you, and I'm delivering molds to other people, so I could come meet up with you somewhere around Portland if you want other molds. And I was like, all right. And then that was a few months ago. And then I bought this thing. And they're like, oh, hey. And they offered again. And I was like, oh, look through their stuff. I was like, there's nothing that I want. But, ugh. But yeah. It's like foam with some junk on the back of it. I don't know what this is for, but it's certainly not packing material. So now I feel just completely grossed out. My overalls are like not cooperating. Definitely. So, I'm not gonna buy from them again. I was also very proud of myself because I bought these overalls from My Violet and they were like really high water, really short. So I added, and they had like buttons. So I added this ribbon on top and where the back connects, and then some ribbon to the ankles, and it's still like really short and awkward. And I think a little tight, so I guess I should have sized up. It's like tight in the bum and thighs, and then loose right here. So, not happy. The other overalls that I bought from My Violet were those pink ones with the white hearts that I wear all the time, and they were a much better fit and much better quality fabric. That I spent like $70 on these, and that was on sale. The other ones I think were $80, and they were doing like a 10% off discount, and then they also had free shipping, and the free shipping was $10, and then the discount was going to end up being like $10 or something like that. And I think I redeemed the 10% off and then forgot to do the free shipping, and I messaged them and they're like, oh, you can only do one. And I'm like, so it literally doesn't matter. Like, I can get $10 off my order, or I can not pay for shipping. That's $10. So yeah, paying $70 for a pair of overalls that I had to go back and alter them to make them fit, and they're still awkward, like, is really frustrating. And I changed out, because like I said, there were buttons. I changed out and got like these really cute heart shape buckles and buttons that I already have because my overalls break all the time. And still, I don't know, still I'm upset because now I'm like, I don't even know if I want to wear these again after this. Like, I might need to alter them even more and add more fabric into them so that they're comfortable to wear, and that's really frustrating. So, and unfortunately, like most, I have like a full rack of clothes that it's like, okay, they've got like one little thing small with, or like small problem with them, and it's like, oh, you know, I just need to do like one little alteration, or stuff that I've got that's a pain in the butt to return, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it's a pain in the butt to return, I'm just gonna fix it eventually. And so now I have like a whole rack of clothes, like some of them like brand freaking new, but it's like it's too much of a hassle to return, so I'm supposed to fix them and I don't want to fix them, so I need to stop doing that. Excuse me. I don't know, it might not just be like plus size, it might be like a universal thing. Like, they just don't, everybody's body is different, and they make clothes like based off of like certain body shapes, and that doesn't fit everybody. So I know it's hard to just find clothes that fit you off the rack, no matter what your size is. Anyways, this is the mold I got. It's they're labeled as earrings. Most of them are like faceted, which is what I'm looking for, because I have like a silicone mold that's faceted, but it doesn't dry up as fast as plaster does. But these are all scratched up, so might have been a waste the whole way around. Clothes as a whole are just difficult to shop for, even in person. I know, yeah. Especially, like, I'm gonna always say, especially if you're plus size, like, they took all of the majority of the plus size selection that they used to have in places like Target are gone. Torrid, which is where I usually shop, went back to making like ill-fitting, weird shaped stuff, and now they charge like they're charging like they were before, but the quality is greatly declined and the cuts are not good, and they went from having like real plus size models to these like smaller models too. So I am like at the point where I'm like, I'd like to start making all of my own clothes, but it's also so much of a hassle. Like, where does one find the time? That's a big time sink. Okay. I think before I clean these molds out, I'm going to clean off my desk. Or the patience, really. Yeah. It's funny, I finished a sweater on my sweater machine yesterday, the one that I was working on, and then I went to go try it on, and it was not right, so I just spent all that time like making the sweater. I don't know, it was like the sleeves were way too long, and I could have just nicked back the sleeves, but then I was like, oh, I don't like the collar, oh, it's too big, I could do this better. So I took the whole thing apart. I was like literally sewing up the seams on the sweater, and I like had to go back and undo some of the knots and the ends that I wove in because I was like, actually I don't like this. So and then I don't know if I told you or if you saw my comment on Michelle's video about the duster. Like, I got done with the back part of it, and it sat for like a month, and I was like, I don't want to finish this, so I completely frogged it. So one more thing that gray yarn is not. I think I'm gonna try to just make like a V-neck sweater or something with it. Just like a plain sweater. Or I think it would look really nice with cabling. Me with anything I let sit for too. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know if it was on this account or my other account, but like reposted a video or liked a video that was like the same like conundrum. It's like make it, hate it, put it in a drawer somewhere and forget about it, and come back like 6 months later or a year later and then frog it. Speaking of Michelle, Clock App got me. What do you mean? What happened? You got banished? Like from her live? What did you do? Cannot join lives in a box until next Monday. You didn't, you didn't, gosh, what's the word? Try to repeal? Appeal? You didn't try to do a ban appeal, did you? Like, if they get you, like, do not do the ban appeal. Just take your 10 minutes. No? Dang, what'd you do? Obviously don't say it here, because you might get in trouble. Unless you can censor it, but... Oopsie. No, it's a whole week, not even 10 minutes. I don't even know what I said. Were you talking about, like, the Nickelodeon stuff? We're also confused. Yeah, I don't know. That's why my lives are I try to remember to put them on 18 plus because I want a little bit more leeway because I have a potty mouth. Kind of started with that, but then went on to a different doc that's on Netflix and just boom, banished. Weird. Maybe it like misheard a word. I have to assume it's using like the same listening thing that they use to make the captions. And so if you're saying a word that kind of sounds like something bad, they're probably like, no, get off here. That would be my best guess. But I'm sorry. As someone who's eaten a week ban for something that I thought was silly, I sympathize. Man, did I already talk to you? Didn't even get a warning, just immediate punishment. Yeah, that's weird. They must have thought it was something like really bad then. Or somebody like reported you. You making enemies out here? Oh. Apparently. My like FYP is still very much Nickelodeon stuff on my normal account. Maybe I should scroll on this account. one, I need to go and like support my mutuals, um, and two, just to get away from the Nickelodeon stuff. I've been watching. I think there were like 2 days last week where I was just like on TikTok from the time that I got off of here until like I went to bed, and I was just like upset with myself. Thank you for the follow, David. Yeah, I was just like upset with myself for being on for so long. Been getting that and the two public national cases involving littles. Was one of them from here. We don't have to go like in depth, but there was one like in Oregon, with the guy who made his daughter have her friends over. Oop, where'd that go? Okay, it's right there. I don't know, like, I don't know what brand this was. I don't know what brand this knife was, but don't get it. If you're in the pottery store, it's just got my name on it. Don't get this one. No, I didn't even hear about that. One is a YouTube family case, like the Ruby, the like Ruby something. I have been seeing stuff about that. Nothing out of Ohio though. But the only reason I know about the Oregon one is because I check local news like every day. Like I do like the recommended news on Google News, and then I switch over to like local news. So yeah, I was kind of like frustrated with how much time I've been spending on TikTok, so I've moved back to TV, and I've been watching Supermarket Sweep from the 2000s. Have you ever seen that show? Not is like 95 to 2003, I think, was when it ran, and then they did a reboot of it with Leslie. I don't know her last name, from Saturday Night Live in 2000, but it was only like 2 seasons. Oh, don't want to get up to go to the trash can. Hey, April. Have you seen Supermarket Sweep? Like the 90s, 2000s Supermarket Sweep? The OG one? I guess it's not technically OG because there was one in like the 1960s, but I haven't seen any episodes from that one at all. So, but in my heart, it is the OG one. You haven't seen any of them? Do you know the premise for the show? It's like a competition in a grocery store, and it's like a pair of people answering questions about stuff in the grocery store, like pricing and brands, and you're trying to get as much time as possible to do the big sweep where you run and you have a certain amount of time to fill your cart with as much expensive stuff as possible, and then that is whoever wins that gets the chance to follow some clues and find $5,000 in the supermarket. I didn't realize there was an older one. I only knew it because I was looking in Wikipedia earlier because I was watching it earlier. So it said that one, the 90s version, was a reboot of the 60s one. No, but it sounds interesting. Okay, it's so fun. Have you ever used Pluto TV? Because they have a whole channel that's Supermarket Sweep. And if you don't use like Pluto TV, like you should. It's just like free TV and they run ads in the middle of it. And they have channels that are dedicated to like old shows. So there's like an Unsolved Mysteries channel, not including like the Netflix and Supermarket Sweep. And there's like themed ones. There's a paranormal one, and they're always playing like Finding Bigfoot, which I think is a very funny show and a very funny concept. And they call like Sasquatches or Bigfoot like squatches, and I think that's funny too. You know who's gone crazy with commercials? Tubi. I never like Tubi is on my TV, but I've used Pluto TV all this time. So were they not doing a bunch of commercials before? I have a Vizio TV, and so it comes with Watch Free, which is essentially like Pluto TV's app. They take like everything from Pluto TV's app, and then they add their own commercials in there, and it's usually commercials for like their products, so it's very annoying to watch. So I use Pluto TV instead. Wait, I've seen something that Taylor hasn't? Like gasp. Like gasp. Well, it's a really, it's a fun game show. I don't know. I'm looking like, I personally am not very great at small talk. And trying to look for things to talk to people about. So, like, one of the things that I was thinking is, like, what is your optimum Supermarket Sweep route from the 90s version? Because, like I said, I haven't seen the 2020 version. And the 90s version has so many seasons that it's like... it's just like if you watch enough of the episodes, like you learn the layout. They don't change the layout, and you know kind of everything by heart. But yeah, just if you're like bored one day and you're like, man, I just want to sit in front of the TV and like veg, like put on Pluto TV and watch the Supermarket Sweep channel or any of the other channels. I'm like obsessed. I started out with their Unsolved Mysteries channel because I'm obsessed with Unsolved Mysteries. Like, obsessed. Listened to all of their podcast episodes, was very upset when they got canceled after, like, I think it was 3 seasons. But I loved that show as a kid. And then, yeah, Supermarket Sweep, it's just like... You get so frustrated when people have, like, the low amounts. Like, I think towards the... later in the show, like, it wasn't until 2002 that they had, like, the most that somebody ever won in the, like, the big sweep around the thing before finding the $5,000 was, like, $2,600. Like, most of the time, like, if you're getting, like, $700, it's, like, a good, you're pretty good. $1,000, like, you're really good. And if you're getting anything, like, below $700, like, you suck. But I don't see enough people, like, on the internet in the past discussing their strategies of what they would do, and I could definitely, like, have an in-depth conversation with someone about that. What frustrates me the most is, like, it's a given that the meat is the most expensive, like, one of the most expensive things that you can get outside of, like, the bonuses. And they have, like, it kind of set up where they've got, like, these big rectangle things of meat, and then halfway down the aisle there's these golden foil hams, and then at the end of the aisle, like the end of the freezer section, there's turkeys. And nobody ever goes and gets the meat, the ham, or the turkeys. They pick 2, and I haven't seen anything anywhere that says that they're not allowed to get all three of them, because all of those are like 25, I think they say $27 up to $27 a piece, 20 or something like that. And if you're allowed to get 5 of each. So right there within that first run in that first aisle, you would get $300, maybe more than $300, and then grind your coffee and you get $100 for grinding coffee, and then bam, within like the first 30 seconds, I don't know how long it takes for the coffee grinder to work, but you got like a few $100. You got yourself a good start, and then you can go run around and get all the other stuff. So yeah, obviously I could talk about this for a while. I'm not going to, that's all I'm going to say. But that is definitely what's at like the forefront of my mind. Because what did I do last night? I was trying to finish up that sweater that I ended up frogging, and I was listening to TrueAnon again, and they were talking about the Kate Middleton stuff before she announced that she had cancer, and that's why she was not around. And I think the other one was about like technology, and like it spanned a lot of subjects. They were talking about like kids and technology, and how like young kids know how to use like iPads and phones and stuff like that, and how weird it is to see like little kids like scrolling on phones. But there was more to it than that. It was just talking about like the nature of like social media, and it was interesting. On my way to sign up for Pluto TV. You don't even have to sign up. You just download the app. If you sign up, then they'll like keep track of your favorite shows and stuff. But I didn't even sign up. It was just on my TV when I got it. But you can just go on the website and use it without even signing up. It's for free. It's for free. All free. You don't have to sign up for anything. Only if you want them to keep track of the channels that you like. And probably like send you needless advertisement. But it's free, and it's got some cool channels. I loved during the winter time, during the holiday season, they had a channel that was just like a Yule log fireplace, because I've tried to play that on like YouTube, and it was like before they had like repeat and stuff, and that was like frustrating. But this just like, I don't even have to pay attention to it. I would just turn it on and it would be on, so that was nice. My best friend is a 4th grade teacher, and she has 1 kid. Snapchat and TikToking in class. Snapchat drives me insane. Like my nephew, I feel like has been asking my sister to let him be on Snapchat for years, and I'm like, when Snapchat first came out, my association with it was like not safe, like NSFW stuff, like not safe for work, definitely not safe for children. So like kids asking to be on Snapchat, I would just be like, if it was my child, no, heck no, that's crazy. Thought you said The Witcher time for a second. What did I say? The Witcher would be cool, but obviously I haven't seen the most recent season of The Witcher, and that would be nice. But I think we're probably a little bit out from any Netflix series being like for free on another app with ads. But that'd be nice, because I haven't seen. When I said winter, got it. Witcher, winter time, Witcher time, got it. I'm there. I'm all here. Yeah. Yes, during the winter, during the holidays. That would be crazy if Witcher was like popular enough that if it was like at the popularity that Game of Thrones was, and how it had like the chokehold on us for so long, and we're like, okay, we know like it came out in like March or April every year, and it's like Game of Thrones time, Witcher time, but I don't think people liked it as much. In ye old days of, of ye Witcher, Geralt of Rivia. I move this stuff over. Do I have space? Putting this stuff away, like, in a little bit. I'm not gonna just have to take it out again to use it all, but here we are. You haven't seen The Witcher or Game of Thrones. Big surprise. Not a TV watcher? Like, Game of Thrones was such, like, an event. It was such, like, a thing when it came out. And it was so good up until, I think, that last season. And then I was like, I used to rewatch it. Like, season would end, the next season would be coming up, and I'd rewatch all of the seasons before it to be, like, caught up again. And then when, like, the last season came out, I was like, oh man, we had just, like, rewatched everything up to it, and I was like, I can't wait to watch it all over again, like, when this last season airs. And the last season was so bad, we were like, no, never mind. Tried so hard to get into it, and I just cannot. I feel like you, like, I don't know, it was just a sign, maybe a sign of the times. I personally, like, if I had heard that the last season was very bad, I don't know that I would have been able to get into it either. But, like, yeah, I really liked it. I tried to read... I think I read, like, the first 2 books in the series, but Martin is just a really floral writer, and he spends a lot of time world building, I guess, is what they call it. But, like, explaining the scenery and what everybody's wearing, what everybody's eating, and it was just really boring. Get to the bulk of it. Admittedly, I enjoy, like, probably young adult novels for their brevity, because I have such, like, a limited attention span. I work off DVDs, Tubi, and Disney Plus for shows. Well, Pluto TV's there too. My problem with Pluto TV is it's not like they do have stuff that's on demand, but for the stuff that's not on demand, like yes, you have to watch commercials, whatever, that's fine. But if it's not on demand and you're trying to watch it, like, all the way through, like, it just keeps playing. You can't pause it. It'll just keep playing. And that was my problem with I was, like, trying to catch up on Teen Mom 2, and I just happened to, like, tune in a couple episodes before, like, the last couple seasons that I hadn't seen. And so I spent a whole day, like, watching that, and then I had to go to bed, and I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna miss all these other seasons. I guess I'm just gonna pay for, like, a month of Paramount Plus and, like, blast through them. But Paramount Plus is, like, their app is so awful to use. Like, sometimes, like, the skip doesn't work, and then the buttons just, like, after the show starts, they don't work at all. So if you're not watching them, like, on a computer, like, the interface from the app is just completely unusable and terrible. Young adult will always hold some of my heart. Sometimes it's a great palate cleanser. Definitely. Definitely. Let me go put these over there. All right. I have these 2 molds to clean, and then we'll see what I want to get into. I have to demold all these flowers, so I might do that so I have elbow space, and then we'll see what time it is. And then I might get started on a sculpt. I just don't know what I want to work on. I'm really excited about doing the trolls, but I feel like they're small, they're quick, they're easy, and I really wanted to have like a whole container filled up with them. I could still do that. Almost exclusively read young adult and middle grade fantasy. Essentially, that's me too. Sorry, I missed that when I was reading Taylor's. Essentially, that's me. I do enjoy it a lot. I don't know. I don't read as much anymore. I just I go with the TikTok recommendations. This morning a book was available on Libby that I checked out, an audiobook. I think it's like Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. It was like a recommendation. I think they're like witches. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try that. So. Failed to add I was a middle grade librarian for 4 years. Makes sense. I read things that people should not read, hence needing YA as a palate cleanser. That makes sense too. I'm gonna empty this into the bucket, refill with clean water, and maybe switch sponges. Because this is like, I don't know what clay's in this, and these are dirty. I think this chopped up sponge is what I want. Probably should also be pouring, but I'm tired and I don't want to. Got to go. Heartless, Queen of Hearts backstory. I have read the Cinder series. And Heartless, I think, is on my to-do list. But if you haven't read Cinder and that whole series, I think it's like 4 books, and you liked Heartless, I've heard that is good and you should read it. Not that is good. Lunar Chronicles, that's what it's called. And I read it. That's what I'm saying. Gosh, my brain is a jumble. Lunar Chronicles was so good. So good. You almost have them memorized. I only went through them the one time. A friend of mine recommended them, and then I think after that, Heartless got recommended to me, and I was like, oh, I love the Lunar Chronicles. So it's on my list. I think I'm just waiting for it to come available on Libby. So yes, read that. Not Heartless. Read Lunar Chronicles and loved them. Read through 3 times, listened through 2 times. Okay, so that sounds like me and the Magicians series. The show, I have it on DVD now because I don't subscribe to like Netflix and everything, and I don't want to not ever have access to it. I watch through the Magician series like once a year, and then when I'm like in between books, I'll like listen to the audiobook. Like I'll just pick up like wherever I am. So that sounds like me and the Magicians. But yeah, it's such a good series. It took me forever to get it started too, because I have like, I guess what TikTok would call like pathological demand avoidance. So if somebody tells me that I should like read something, and I didn't ask for the recommendation. Like, I try to keep like a list, but my brain's just like, no, we're not reading it. So it took me like 6 months because I like immediately like checked it out on Libby, and then just could not get myself to open the audiobook. So I probably checked it out 3 times before I actually went through and read Cinder, or listened to Cinder. So yeah, if it's like not my, you have to make it like sound like it's my idea. The Unwanted is another favorite middle grade series. I'm gonna put it. Took me forever to commit to Eragon. I never read Eragon. I think my sister-in-law did. Definitely heard about it. I heard about it a lot. I used to work at Borders. Where are my notes? Where's my notes app? Stream notes. The Unwanteds. One of these, somebody was telling me about Has Been Hotel, and I have Prime, and I just saw it the other day, and I looked at it and I was like, somebody told me about that. I know, I need to watch it. So, sorry, I trailed off. Eragon, I remember hearing about it a lot in Borders, and I remember the books because of shelving them. But there was like a critique that like completely, I was like, okay, this series is maybe not for me, so. Never read it. I miss reading. I just can't sit and do it lately. That like, I have to really be in the mood for it. It's funny. Did you read? Are you familiar with Piper CJ on this app? I know everybody kind of like either really likes her or really hates her. But I just finished her Night and Its Moon series, and I thought it was pretty okay. Didn't hate it, wouldn't read it again, but I think I was able to read like the first book, and then a couple months later the second book came out, and then I had to wait with everybody else for the third book, and then the fourth book I waited until it came out, and it was available at my library. So I was very surprised. Like usually, every time, like every time a new book would come out, and then it'd finally come up for me to read, I like immediately dove in to read it. I don't know. It was just an easy read, I guess, is the best way to explain it. It was easy for me to pick up and put down, but I still like finished it in like 2 days. I miss reading too. So that's why I've been doing audiobooks. The problem is, I would really love to just throw an audiobook on like while I'm in the studio, but when I'm streaming and I'm dual streaming on here and the other apps, they have copyright stuff. So you can't just like, here I feel like you could listen to an audiobook and it wouldn't be a big problem. But on there I can't, because then I'd get banned from the apps. And I have to do my due diligence and try to do these apps, commit before I drop them. Because, yeah, right now the only app that I'm having success on is this one. And sometimes, like, a reel will pop off. I'm actually getting better engagement on reels than I am on here, which is funny. There are a few audiobook people that record while on live. Fun to watch. Yes, I've seen those too. I've definitely come across those. I need to bring up my window because the type on my phone is too small to read. Yeah, I've definitely come across those people, and that's a cool thing. I wonder, I guess we'll find out what Echo is going to play if I ask it to play Spotify. Echo! Play Spotify. Yeah, it's trying to play. Echo! Stop! Yeah, I don't want to, I already listened to that episode, TrueAnon, and I can't play it on here, so give me a second. And I'm going to put on, what do you mean installing? Of course. Get some music, so just to have something to tap my foot to in the background. There we go. Oof. I just realized these will be great for the trolls. I can put little gems. I can cast the gems and put them in their little bellies. Just like, hopefully the detail comes out. Trying to think about how best to arrange my time out here today. Because I don't know if I'm in the mood to sculpt. And I have to take my dogs out in like an hour. So I'm thinking right now, clean the molds. Clean these molds. Pour the little things that I want to pour. Empty them out and wrap them up for overnight, and then if after I feed my dogs I want to sculpt, I can come back out and do that. So I think that's the plan. You know, there are not like people, you know, like, oh my gosh, if this person doesn't start sculpting soon, I'm gonna lose it. It's just a little voice in my brain that's like, you need to be doing interesting stuff on stream. Got the content brain. But if I'm pouring molds, I'm gonna pour these two. Okay, this is the one that's got like dead spider in it. So that's fun. feel bad for this little spider. Hopefully they lived a full life. In general, I'm not afraid of spiders. Sometimes they'll like freak me out because, you know, they're a little weird looking, but other than that, I am not like a person that's like set my whole house on fire to kill a tiny spider. There's this little hunting spider in my laundry, and I'm like, what are you doing in there, guy? Like, I don't know who that is. Like, there's no bugs in there. This is not a sustainable life. There are so many other great spots you could be in, like my kitchen, where there are ants. Like, I'm just begging spiders to move in to my kitchen to take care of the ants. Because we have like a couple dozen ants right now. And usually, by the time it gets warmer out, a spider will move in and take care of them. So I appreciate spiders. Thanks for liking the live. I appreciate you, April. I hope I'm not picking up the dead spider on my sponge. But I'm like, spiders are helpful. And I need them to move into my house and eat all of the weird bugs. Because I think, like, I don't know, I guess normal people that own houses, like, spray for bugs every year or something like that. But I don't want that around my house or my dogs, so. I'd prefer not to do that. Not that I'm getting a bunch of weird bugs in my house, thank goodness. Okay. That was much easier to clean up than I thought it was going to be until I turned it over. This is where the problem is. In the pour spouts. Put it... There we go. I wonder if I should be using the brushy brush. Yeah, I guess so. This could be fun. I was just thinking about like what to make with all these little orbs. And since I called them eyeballs, when I essentially took them out, I was just thinking about covering something in eyeballs. Alright, this guy is clean. I'm gonna leave this one here. I'm gonna pour little molds. Oh, you can see the sodium silicate coming off of some of these. All the trolls and the bull skulls, the little ones. Switch back to my other sponge. Spatula. I do. Oh, we're a little tilted. Need to go around to the other side to adjust. Hopefully that's straighter. Cause I can't see. Okay. Oh yeah, this is really. I need to like pull this up. I feel like these are gonna rip. Oh, I should have bought bigger ones. All right. It's a little layer of fuzziness on my molds. It's just like the deflocculant got sucked up in the pores. But I'm gonna wipe it off because you don't want it to be airborne. What? Deflocculant. There we go. I was like, what are you asking? I need to turn. Oh no, the dreaded puzzle piece. Deflocculant. It. How do I explain it? It's an additive that you put in normal clay to make it more fluid without having too much water in it, because you want to have enough clay to stick to the inside of your mold without, so you have like a solid cast. Give me a second. And like pick it up. Let me see if I can find a mold that doesn't have too much. See, like there's fuzz, some fuzzy looking stuff. I think if you get a bunch of it, it also means there's like an imbalance, I think, of water. Maybe. I can't remember. I've looked it up. Don't quote me. I've looked it up, but I cannot remember. But anyways, you definitely don't want to be breathing it in. So I'm just trying to wipe it off my molds so I don't knock any off. And then breathe it in. Is that the powder that you brush on? Nope, that's just the, you can use like cornstarch in a mold if you're having problems with sticking, but I honestly wouldn't use it on like a plaster mold. If you're using like a silicone mold, that would make sense. But no, this is just like deflocculant is what you put in the clay. Thank you for the heart puff. 2 heart puffs, 3 heart puffs. Thank you. You put it in the clay to make it more liquid without adding water. And so it seeped out of the clay after I poured the clay in before, and it's sitting on the outside of these molds. So yeah, not intended that it be there. Thank you. Oh, you completed my goal, I think. Thanks for all the heart puffs. I just think they're so neat. Thanks, April. Okay, these are wings. I think I'm gonna put these attachments away. Don't want the horns. I will do the little wings. I don't want to do those horns, but I will do the little horns and the little bull. And then I just need to, this guy's got a bunch. I'm gonna go pay attention to my people. Have a good evening. You too, April. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thank you for all the heart puffs. I'll see you around. Take care. Okay. Pull you guys this way so you can sort of see what I'm doing. I know I pulled that spatula out. There it is. If I should like dunk it. This is like this is a buildup of clay on the outside of my scoopers. trying to decide if I'm gonna stick my hand in this. It's like a layer at the bottom. Guess we're going for it. That'll be fine. Okay. Ugh. Get out of here, ponytail. Okay. We're gonna do 20 minutes. Echo. Set a timer for 20 minutes, please. It's very quiet. Ooh, overdid that one a little bit. Okay. Trolls. Need to refill this. probably do another one of the little skulls. Since it's sitting here. Or the medium skulls. I think I will. Can't hurt to have more of these little skulls to sell. We are getting to the bottom though. Let's see if it's enough. I think I need 3. I think it just might be enough. Yeah. Echo. Echo. Set a second timer for 10 minutes. Echo. Set a third timer for 25 minutes. Good. I just gotta top these off. And we're good. Okay. Alright, all the clay on top of here is dry, and I don't want to kick up dry clay when I go to dump these. Man, I never went to IKEA. I want to go to IKEA and get a table. Maybe I should just get it delivered. Because they do like small deliveries now, I think. Okay, oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna fill my bottle so that I can do those little jewels that I just got. And I need to make another like mold haul compilation. Should have did this the other way, so if it fell out, it would go into the skull. It's fine. We'll be fine. Honestly, doesn't take that long to make the little horns, so I'm not gonna worry about the little horns. Should have given a warning for people who get nauseous easy. Okay, where did I put it over there. Okay. We're doing all right. How long do I got? Can't see my timer. There's a bunch of junk in the way. 4 minutes. It doesn't make any sense why this little thing of wings takes so much. I can't wait to see how much stuff I get out of this. How many gallons of clay was it? I think it was just like 7? Maybe 8 gallons of clay. Been live for 90 minutes. That means I've got 90 minutes of work done.